So you played Nikke with one hand, and it's amazing. But maybe you'd like to play it with two hands.
Engage.
Oh yeah. Yo, what's up everyone? Kyrios here, and today we are going to go over how to do Nikke in widescreen, which is absolutely amazing. But honestly, they both have their pros and cons. I like it actually in vertical mode and in horizontal mode as well. But, you know, it'll be a pretty short and sweet video. If you guys can't hit that like and subscribe, let's get started. By the way, guys, sorry about the voice. Still recovering. But let's go ahead and kick this off. Now, what you guys are going to want to do is go on ahead, head on over to ldplayer.net. Now, there's probably different ways to do this, but LD Player has probably got the easiest way to do widescreen. And literally, it's a piece of cake, which I'm about to show you. But make sure you download LD Player 9, not any of the previous versions, because Nikke seems to run better on LD Player 9 versus any of the other versions of LD Player. And we'll talk about some of the settings I do as well to make it look really, really nice. Now, as you guys can see, this is part of my other video that's coming out later today, our reroll guide. There's a couple different ways you can do it. So a little sneak peek on that one. Before we choose one of these characters and really get into it, there's one thing I wanted to show you guys is that if you go over to, if you're in LD Player, you go to the LD Player store, and this is really just for everyone. You might as well go do this. You can type in the game Nikke, and then there's going to be an exclusive offer. Now you can come here and you get an extra 100 gems. Now that's cool, right? All you got to do is download the emulator, go get the game. I'll have all the links in the description down below, and you get an extra 100 gems, and it is what it is. So let's go ahead and we're going to exit through some of these emulators here just so I have a little bit of space. Who are we going to end up here? Let's go ahead and do. I'm thinking we're gonna go ahead and do 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿. Sorry, Volume. You're not YouTube YouTube friendly most of the time, unfortunately. So what you guys are first gonna do is you can see I'm playing in vertical mode right now. We can go ahead and expand that, make that look a lot better. There's actually times that you want to do vertical mode, like the reroll guide that we're working on. But if you go into the settings of LD Player, all you have to do is go over to other settings. And they actually have a built-in forcibly lock landscape mode. As soon as you do that, you can save settings. I think you have to relaunch the game, so we're gonna go ahead and do that real quick. All right, we can go over here, right? We can go ahead and practice, you know, maybe some sniper shots. See what that looks like. Nice. Seems to be lining up. Seems to be pretty good. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that if you have a high-end PC or anything like that, you're going to have to mess with a little bit of settings here to make this look a lot more cleaner, a lot more nice. So let's go ahead and work through those settings real quick. First thing you're going to do is before you leave the game, we are going to go ahead and go into the settings of the game. Go over the settings, and then you guys are going to want to go over the graphics and then crank that up 60 frames a second, high, everything like that. If your computer can handle this, obviously work through it if you can. Go to medium, whatever you can do. I like to have it all cranked up because I love it. I'm not a big fan of fog level, so I actually reduce that down by about half, and then everything else seems to be fine as well. Also, another little pro tip while we're in here is in our reroll guide, I'll show you this, but at times you're going to want to have this tapping real lines crosshair. I usually set it to medium, but depending on the missions I'm farming or anything like that, I'll have it at low or high. Depending on where do you want that crosshair to reset. So we're going to go ahead and save that. We're going to say yes to restart. And we're actually going to close that down for a second. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go into settings here. And you can see that I'm at 1280 by 720. Now that's okay. And that works pretty well. You can see I'm also at 2 gigs. That's mainly because this was one of my reroll accounts. You want to make sure that is at about 4 gigs ideally, if you guys can. On my reroll, I'm keeping that 2 because I can run it at 2 and it works out fine. Now, if you've got some of the good settings I actually like are in the ultra wide. Some of these settings right here, 2400 by 1080 or 3200 by 1440 seem to work pretty good. I actually like to customize it. So I run a 2K monitor, or even if you run a 4K monitor, I like to run it in 2K. So I like to run 2560 by 1440, and then I like to up that DPI up to about 400. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a little bit more RAM just for a second, and then everything else is fine. You could mess with some of these models, doesn't really matter too much in my opinion. Now, if you are getting tearing, I have seen some people need vertical sync. I don't need vertical sync. That's fine. Leave everything else the same. Audio's fine. Network's fine. Everything else is fine. Every other settings is fine. Don't need root permissions. Don't run at startup. Yada, yada, yada. Everything else should be good to go here. All right. And that looks an insane amount better. Or at least it looks better for me. You guys might not be able to see it because I'm obviously recording this video in 1080p, where my main PC is actually a 1440p monitor, but it looks a ton more clear, everything like that. It looks absolutely amazing, especially on a high-end PC. And you don't have to have that high of a PC, in my opinion. Now, I do have a a 3080 in there and stuff like that, so an NVIDIA. But if you got a decent graphics card, it's good. But you can obviously see, like, even going into view mode here, it's like you can see it's not as pixelated as it was around the target. It just looks a lot more clean, a lot more so anyways, guys, that's all I got for the video. That should have been short and sweet. I know we had to hyperclip that because there was a ton of things. I have my reroll guide coming out today, so once again, if you have not liked and subscribed, make sure you do. We do play a lot of other games on this channel as well. And let me know in the comments down below if this helped you out or not. And I'll see you guys out there in the world of Nikke. Fist bump from me to you.